It's time for today's travel and cruise industry news. With the latest from travel and cruises around the world, here's your host, Chillie Falls.
Hey, good morning. Welcome to Travel and Cruise Industry News on Saturday morning, October 10th, 2020, coming to you from Bedford County in Central Virginia. Already a bit of a damp Bedford County. We started getting some of the rains, actually the early rains from Delta reached Virginia during the night last night. We're going to have, of course, this was the way outside, long away outer bands that have made it up this way. We're going to have rain pretty much here now for 3 days as the storm, even the heavier part of it, moves in this direction. So it's going to be damp for about 3 days. Hope all of you guys stayed safe. By the way, Sonny, if you pop on this morning, let us know how you're doing. You were the closest one to any of the really bad stuff on this one. I'm not going to spend a whole lot of time talking about the hurricane. That everybody knows all the records it broke and the number of landfalls and all that business. Probably most of you have watched the Weather Channel and other news agencies, and they've all had news and films and so forth. Yesterday, it acted pretty much like we said it was going to on Thursday. It wasn't like, going into, as it approached Cancun the other day, threw everybody for a loop. Weakened before it got to the Yucatan Peninsula, which actually made it so that it was a little more bearable when it actually got to the U.S. coast. Of course, landfall was a 2, which we expected. We expected it to strengthen back to a 3 yesterday, which it did. Then when it got to that little slight band of cooler water right off the U.S. coast, it dropped it back down, so it actually came on shore as a 2. Ironically, if you want to call it irony, the landfall was 11.2 miles from the exact landfall of Laura 5 weeks before. So those folks have just been, it's been an awful, awful year. My heart goes out to all the folks in that area, especially in the Lake Charles area, which is, Mr. President, if you want to do something positive, man, get on the insurance companies to get this stuff settled. The insurance wasn't even settled from the last storm, so they couldn't finish doing their repair work and stuff from the last storm. And here we got another one. Of course, they were living all under tarps because of the pandemic. The companies that make shingles can't make shingles. What the hell is that? So, Mr. President, you want to do something good for a change? Get on that. Help these people get their lives back down there and from the hurricanes. So that's it. I'm no more ranting today. I'm not going to rant, folks. I promise. Time out to me. I'll go on timeout and sit in the back room. Anyway, hope everybody stayed safe from this one. It ended up being, it was bad. Don't get me wrong, but it could have been a whole lot worse. So thankfully for that. And, everybody all on up through, Mississippi and Tennessee and into Kentucky and coming across even to me, everybody's going to have a lot of rain. Some of you are going to have a lot of winds. Hopefully the winds aren't going to affect us here too much. And by the way, our friend Tom Henry's at an auction right now. So I'm not sure if he's got us muted or what. He's got to pay attention to the auction. But he has been here this morning. So anyway, any of you, if you had some problems from it that I don't know about that you were in that area, let me know. Drop it in the comments. But Sonny, please let us know how you're doing because you were down there closest to it. So several stories this morning. Of course, the main one was the big meeting yesterday that was supposed to be last Friday at the White House with the cruise industry. And then, of course, the president came down with COVID and went to the hospital and so forth. So they postponed that. But yesterday afternoon, the cruise industry actually moved a step closer to opening when Vice President Pence had a conference call with the major cruise line leaders and folks from the CDC. The meeting covered mandatory testing for all crew and passengers, the resumption of cruise plans submitted to the CDC, along with lifting of the no sail order at the end of the month. A couple factors are going to come into play, folks, regarding the CDC lifting the ban on sailing. And one of them concerns me the most, especially with the governor of Florida's recent move to basically open the state totally. It looks to me like that's going to cause another major spike in Florida, which may affect us on this one badly, folks. But the virus landscape in Florida at the end of the month, when the CDC has to make a determination, and of course, Europe's continued success in the Mediterranean. The industry has been working toward creating and implementing a series of the health protocols that will be put in place before they can sail again. So those are the two major things to get us sailing again. Now, if stick my nose in the middle of things again, I am totally, I'm all in favor of the administration supporting getting the cruises going, but don't dictate to the CDC what they got to do. Let the CDC determine when it's safe to sail without political pressure. I'm sorry, folks, and I realize that a lot of you will just want it blanket to go, and that's fun, but I want us to go safely so we don't have setbacks. MSC and Costa have proven it can be done. I think all the cruise line needs to copy that. The CDC needs to have guidelines very similar to what they're doing over there. And then Florida, especially Florida, needs to get their act together and get the virus under control so we can get to the ships and then sail safely. That's my take on it. I'm not going to fuss about what's going on other than I'm totally opposed to any politicians, and I don't care if you're Republican or Democrat, putting pressure on the health agencies. You got to let them do their job. Following along in that same vein, the Grandiosa, by the way, that's one of the MSC ships, of course, that's been sailing. What are they on? They're on their eighth or ninth. I forget which one it is now. Sails tomorrow successfully. But the MSC Grandiosa has received RINA's Biosafe notation for the health and safety protocols that the cruise line implemented when the cruises restarted. Now, I'm going to be perfectly honest, folks. I had to go find out what RINA was. Had no idea. That's actually the Italian government's agency that the maritime stuff falls under. So anyway, they got an award for what they're doing. That's pretty cool. Again, my compliments to MSC and the Costa. They've been successfully sailing now. They've proven they can do it with the protocols in place. And you know, the American, especially U.S. folks, are just going to have to buckle down and do it the way they say to do it and not go off on these radical tangents. So if they tell you you can't do something, don't do it. If you want to, excuse my French, if you want to bitch about wearing a mask, don't go on a cruise. You're going to have to wear a mask. You're going to have to be tested, and tested a lot. So if you're going to be upset about that, don't go. Stay home. Let the rest of us start cruising again and cruise safely. So anyway, I'm not real happy with the American population with their crap of fussing about every little thing because it's not politically correct. Well, they're proving it can be done right in Europe, so let's do it that way. Okay, the UK government has established a travel task force to seek a safe return to international travel. This kind of falls the same line as the CDC, only they've started a travel task force. The move follows weeks of criticism from the hospitality section that authorities were moving too slowly in offering assistance to the industry. The Department of Transport and the Department of Health and Social Care have been working extensively with clinicians, health experts, and private testing sector in the practicalities of testing international arrivals, so said the government. The current rules around the 14-day self-isolation policy remain in place, and I would imagine one of the things that needs to come out of this travel advisory panel is ways of getting rid of the 14-day quarantine that they're requiring. Now, the reason I'm saying that, reporting on that this morning, is that our Cruise Amigo show tomorrow from London is going to be on this very topic. And we're doing it a little bit differently, folks. What we're doing, rather than having a guest, although I have sent requests to the 2 Parliament members and to the Secretary, the UK Secretary of State, and asked that they come on the show to state their position, state what they hope to do with this. I'm not counting on them coming, but I've asked. So we've got three formal people that may or may not show up. Not likely to. I have not gotten any confirmation that they are, but I've asked. So that's going to be the topic of the show tomorrow. That's at 3:00 our time, 8:00 Pete's time over there in London. So we're going to talk about it. And what we're doing is we're inviting any of our friends. Of course, we've got a lot of folks in the UK that are involved with cruising and travel to come and give their opinions and let us know. So we're going to have several people. Emma's probably going to pop in. She's got other things on her agenda tomorrow, so she may not be there right at the start. Luke and Gavin are going to stop by. We've invited several other people, like Sue and Janine both had things on their agenda tomorrow and probably won't make it. But I've asked, and we're opening it up to anybody else. If you want to pop in, we're putting a link up so that you'll actually come in live on the show with us, and we'll chat about it, and you can give your opinions and so forth. Now, keep in mind, because we use StreamYard and there's a limit to the number of people, this isn't going to be like a Zoom call where we can have 50 people in house all at once. So it's going to be, some of you might be there and you'll be for 3 minutes and then you'll leave and somebody else can come in. So we're going to play that by ear. We've not done a show like this before. I'm hoping to drive Pete absolutely ding dong crazy because he'll be running the show from over in London. So it'd be nice to have a lot of people popping in and out just to drive him nuts. But we'll give some opinion on the situation in the UK. It should be an interesting show and yet a good show. All right. After a devastating year in Alaska, that saw absolutely no cruise vessels call on ports in Alaska and British Columbia as a result of the COVID health pandemic. Cities on the itineraries that rely on tourism say that having ships return to 2021 is crucial for their survival. Andrew Cremata, who's the mayor of Skagway, said the current situation faced by his town and numerous other port of calls of Southeast Alaska, that it's all now about survival. Local businesses are going to go 17 months in the best case scenario without any revenue. April or May of 2021 represents the chance to right the ship. Now, keep in mind, not only are has the cruise industry affected these folks, but the ban from Canada traveling to the United States is still in effect. And somebody like Skagway, I mean, they're 15 miles from the border. So people that might be coming into Skagway to shop and to visit or whatever can't do it because Canada and the U.S., Canada's banning travel to the U.S. So, I mean, that's a double whammy on these guys. So I really feel for the Alaska folks tremendously. I've asked Mayor Cremata to come on a cruise industry show. I mean, a Cruise Amigo show as well. Who knows? Maybe we'll see him sometime soon. Some other disturbing news that popped in yesterday: the Majestic Line canceled all remaining cruises for the remainder of 2020. According to our friend Dr. Ken Grant, who, of course, was on the Cruise Amigos, 3 or 4 weeks ago, Majestic has taken the difficult decision to cancel all remaining cruises this year after the announcement by the Scottish government concerning stricter regulations around serving alcohol. Dr. Grant and his folks at Majestic feel that they would not be able to provide the high level of hospitality that's synonymous with their name. They've worked extremely hard to provide safe but enjoyable cruise under COVID-19 protocols. The hard work paid off, but now with the Scottish people putting a clinker into alcohol, and I'm not sure I understand what that's all about. They've canceled the remainder of the season. They did sail for 6 weeks successfully with no problems. But they've bagged the rest of the season now. Sorry to hear that one. All right. Royal Caribbean website calls it the opening cruise. They've reached a deal in Singapore to offer cruises on Quantum of the Seas beginning in December. 3 and 4 night cruises have been approved by the Singapore government, and the begin sailing is December 1st. The new cruises are available only to residents of Singapore, so folks, don't get all upset and start trying to get a plane ticket to Singapore, because you got to be a Singapore resident, at least for now. Of course, Royal Caribbean has been working with these folks trying to get things started over there, and they're going to finally get started in December. No news yet on their plans for U.S. sailings. Specifically, they're still on the schedule to start November 1st. We'll see. The other thing to point out is that bookings are now open for a new Carnival cruise ship with a 14-day inaugural cruise to get it from over in Southampton around to Miami. The Carnival Cruise Line has announced the bookings have opened up for the second XL class cruise ship named the Carnival Celebration. She'll be the sister ship to the Mardi Gras, will debut in November of 2022. So, Jason, get your checkbook ready, dude. You can now book on the Celebration. Jason, of course, up in Pittsburgh, is my Carnival guy. He has been, he prefers Carnival to all other cruise lines, as I did for the first 30 years I cruised. So I'm sure Jason will be on the celebration real soon after it lands in Miami in 2022. So that's it on the news things today. So let's pop over and see what's going on in the chat other than Tom Henry off auctioning whatever he's doing. He's going to watch on mute. A great artist today. What? Great artist today said YouTube does not allow pictures to be posted. Christopher De Rubes. Okay, is a featured artist. So Tom's at an art auction. That's sweet. He uses aluminum grinders and fire. Awesome. Huh. Amy's with us. Hi, Amy. You're on time today. That's very good. You did well. Pete's here. Hello, folks from a wet and chilly UK. Well, we got a lot of that here, too. Hi, Nikki. How's things down there in Jacksonville? Pete says, anybody want to join us on set? Yeah, I just talked about that, Pete. He's just inviting everybody to join us tomorrow. Chillie should post the link on Facebook. I have in cruises for solos. If you want to pop up and it'll be on. Matter of fact, it should already be there, I think. But it'll be on my Facebook page. We'll have it posted everywhere. So, Amy says, I don't think the cruise lines operating for the U.S. are going to cut corners. Their very existence depends on them developing follow protocols to a T. Totally agree, Amy. Absolutely agree. And I have absolutely no problem with the cruise lines and them doing this right. Totally 100% feel comfortable that end of it has been taken care of and is going to be taken care of. It's the other end of it that still has me worried to death, and that's traveling to get there and getting this damn thing under control, which it's not. It's then Europe is having problems too. So how long is that going to take before that causes them to shut down over there again? I don't know. It's just, wow. We've got so far to go on this, and we need to do it differently than it's being done. I'm sorry to say. Jason's ready to go. I know. Of course, Jason's scheduled out to January 3rd, 4th, 3rd. Anyway, he's going in January, which we'll be talking to Jason when he goes. I guarantee on that. Anyway, so by the way, folks, as you know, my little website that I try to keep up things updated and so forth. So I've been this morning working on it with all these new updates again. The Carnival ships, the 6 ships that we've talked about that are going to sail, they still hope to sail in November. The other Carnival ships, they have just blanketly scheduled them now in January. So it looks like say for instance, the Carnival Sunshine from Jacksonville is scheduled the first date. It was scheduled in January. Ecstasy out of Charleston is scheduled in January. So all of the 6 ships that Carnival has selected from Port Canaveral and from Miami, all the other Carnival ships that sail out of the U.S. ports are now scheduled for the 1st of January. That doesn't mean that can't change, but that's the way it's sitting right now. So Emily's with us. Good morning, Emily. You're going to get some rain today, too. You're actually going to get some rain that's not tropical, but the tropical rain is going to be coming. So you're going to have rain for a couple of days, just like we are here in Virginia. I mean, it's certainly not going to be anything like they've gone through down south. Don't get me wrong, folks. But still, we're going to get a lot of rain from this one. We could get 3. I think there's 3 to 5 inches they're calling for here, which is nothing like the 12 to 15, 16 inches some of the places got down there in Louisiana. My goodness. Wow, that's been tough. So, all right, Emily, good news is that I start work for my doggy friends on Tuesday. Oh, Emily's going back to work. That's awesome, Emily. Start saving some money so you can go on a cruise with me. All right, good. Emily's going back to work. That is good news. Glad to hear that. Pete says congratulations also. That's pretty cool, Emily. Glad to see that. Who's going to walk the dog now? Your dog. Jason says, hooray. Yeah. Jason, get your checkbook out, dude. Yep, we got a new one. My only problem, I wish they had named it the Celebration. Because I pulled up to see if they had any renderings on the ship yet. And you get the Grand Celebration, one of the Bahamas Paradise cruise lines. And you get the Celebration that was a ship, 150 years ago. And you get this celebration of parties and stuff. So I have trouble pulling up pictures of the Carnival celebration. I wish they'd been a little more creative with the name. So, of course, everybody's saying back and forth. Jason will report back in January. Of course, you will. You better believe it. I'd still like to go. Man, boy, I'd love to go. But again, I can't see it. Tom Henry just bought 2 paintings. Wow. So he's having a successful auction there. That's pretty cool. I'm not the biggest art fan in the world and know little about it other than, obviously, there we go. Tina Turtle, which is one of my niece's paintings, and then we got Max and Brat the Cat that are on the other shoulder. Which is painted by Amanda's studio partner and a close friend of ours. But we will. I'm not the biggest art guy in the world, but I find it interesting, and I'm glad to see Tom bought some. Of course, I'm all in favor of supporting any artist because they struggle. That part I know, but interesting. So glad Tom is having a successful auction. That's great. There's Sonny. Sonny says, congratulations on the new job. Jason says they'll probably rename a ship the Fantasy. So yeah, they will. Just to keep us confused, that was a good name for them for how many years? 20 some years. Emily says, I'll have to get out and walk her before I go. Right now, I have early PM shifts. Wednesday AM, I have an early AM shift. Okay, so you're not going to be there, so you can still take care of the dog too. That's cool. That's awesome. All right, guys, that's going to wrap me up for today, for the weekend. By the way, I guess I might as well. Those of you that are keeping the scorecard on my health situation, my knee. I've lost track of the number of treatments now. I think I just did 9 or 10. I don't know how many ever I've done. My knee is doing better. which is a good thing. But I've had a real awful time with the back, and the back, when it's out and throws me off kilter, which is putting extra pressure on the knee. So it gets into this vicious cycle. On the surface, though, the knee treatments are doing what they're supposed to do. Now, if I can just get the back straightened up, I'll be real happy with that. But yeah, I'm still struggling with the back. It's bothering me sitting here, as a matter of fact, which is why I'm getting the hell off the air. Sonny, what does Sonny say? Sonny says, Chillie's not coming in here, wind from hurricane, but can read your comments. Oh, she can't. I see. Sonny can't. Sonny's still having problems now. Got Chillie up now. Oh, so there I am. Yeah, Sonny, I was just asking how you're doing down there, and you answered that. You're obviously still having some wind and stuff, so you're not out of the woods yet totally. So stay safe down there, Sonny. You're our person in the middle of or closest to the middle of this one. So just be safe, you and your family down there. We're thinking about you. So, okay, guys, that's going to wrap me up for the day. I do have several videos that I'm working on that'll be up. Like I'm working on one on Cartagena, Colombia, and trying to do it so that it makes sense to post a video that'll be good no matter what they do with excursions. And, we just don't know how things like that are going to go. But I've got a schedule that I try to keep to as far as getting things posted. And so I got several things in the mix now to try to make sense of the excursions that are going to be changing for us on all cruises. And again, it's just like I ran it earlier. If you're going to fuss about testing, if you're going to fuss about wearing a mask, don't go. Don't stay at the hell at home. And if you're going to fuss about excursions and think you're going to get off the boat to do the same, what I've done every cruise I've been on, the 40 years I've been cruising, don't go. Because you're not. You're going to go on the excursion of the ship. You're not going to get off and go on your own. You're not going to be able to go to Senior Frogs and have one of those big schooner drinks that I love to drink, or to Margaritaville, and I like their burgers and their soup. Not going to do it. So unless they come up with excursions that included in that, which is a possibility. I mean, if we don't know, none of the cruise lines yet have said what excursion they're going to offer. But we know it's got to change, because a lot of the excursions that so many of us have taken over the years, it was just like the hop on, hop off bus tour. They all offer that for most places if they have a hop on, hop off bus. But that's stopping, and you get off, you can go where you want to go. The cruise lines don't have control of putting you in a bubble and keeping you safe that way. So, that's going to be dead. Many of the excursions, they give you time to get out and take pictures, or to go shopping, or to do all those kind of, that's going to be dead too. I'm thinking they're going to specifically go to a location that they have vetted and know that you will stay safe, and the people there are safe and healthy and tested and all that stuff. That's what I'm assuming they're going to do, but we don't know. The cruises that are going to go from Port Canaveral and from Miami, the first ones to go next month, assuming they are going to go, we don't know yet on what they're going to offer in the way of excursions. And we may not know until you actually get on the boat and sail. How much of this they're going to be done in advance, it's up in the air. So But anyway, if you're not going to be happy with the absolute worst, that they're going to control absolutely every minute that you're off the ship, then don't go on the ship, folks. Stay at home, because that's one of the reasons, one of the ways that we're going to be able to cruise is to follow these rules exactly 100%. If you're going to fuss about that, don't go. Just stay at home, because a screw up and you're going to throw us all in under the bus. So don't do it. All right. I was going to rant today. That'll make Rona happy in Scotland. Rona likes when I rant. She sits over in Scotland and throws darts at a picture of me on the wall when I rant, I think, or something. I don't know what she does. Anyway, Sonny says, is this wind and rain right now not bad? Good. So yeah, says I'm watching the map, Sonny, and you're going to get some rain today, but it's going to be gone. This sucker is moving out. It's moving fast, and that's a good thing for all you guys down there that way. Yeah, it was bad when it came on shore, and it was bad for a while, but it's moving on, so it's not going to poke like we have in the past. All right, that's it for me, guys. As always, wear your mask, socially distance, wash your hands, sanitize, do all those things. Stay safe, stay healthy. You guys have a great day, and I'll see you on Tuesday, or if something major happens between now and then, as always. Thanks, guys. Y'all have a good one. Later, y'all.
Thank you for watching today's Travel and Cruise Industry News. Join us every Tuesday, Thursday, and Saturday morning at 11 a.m. Eastern for another episode. Travel and Cruise Industry News is a production of Chillie's Cruises.